Hey there, my eccentric people. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's an exciting day for more reasons than one. We'll get to the second one a little bit later. Quickly, let's muster up where you guys from, what you're munching on, and while we're doing that, I'm going to transition over to our bigger cam so we can get that up and rolling. Okay, so this is SpaceX's YouTube video going on right now live. As you can see up here in the front is Elon Musk. He was getting interviewed in front of the camera here, talking to Gwen Shotwell. I believe that's right next to him, SpaceX COO. Let's turn up the volume a little bit. How about all the way? Right now we're waiting for trunk jettison, and then we'll have a deorbit burn. On the right here, you see their trajectory of their capsule coming around to the right, to the east, and appearing out west.
We just heard confirmation of trunk separation.
There you have it, just in time.
The trunk
They're
separation
supposed to land right here in the Gulf.
Coming at 10:52 a.m. Pacific, with Dragon flying over the Indian Ocean just off to the west of Australia.
Dragon SpaceX, we showed nominal trunk jettison.
Oh yeah, we felt it.
Sorry, dogs were talking. I wanted to
The
mute
crew just
them.
got the call.
He's still
Nominal
talking.
trunk separation. That's exactly what we were looking for. Next up is going to be that deorbit burn. Again, this is the longest burn of their trip home. This is the longest firing of those thrusters, and the last time we're using those
Such a
forward bulkhead
jerk.
thrusters.
Exactly. Those forward bulkhead thrusters, like Dan just said, that's what we're using to perform the deorbit burn. Once we do that, we will then be able, that deorbit burn will last for 11.5 minutes. Once that is completed, we don't need to use those thrusters anymore, so we will close and lock the nose cone in preparation for re-entry.
Awesome. So what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. For those of you that aren't
We're
aware,
a little
we're
under
watching.
3.5 minutes from the start of the deorbit burn.
All right, deorbit burn in 3.5 minutes. For those of you that don't know, go to spacex.com/launches. Scroll down. You can see the itinerary. We just had the trunk jettison, and we're about to do the deorbit burn, and then obviously gravity will take over, and Dragon will splash down under four full canopies, which is the real exciting part. Okay. Also, today we might be having Lab Padres stream up for a static or a actual 150 meter hop. I'm used to saying static fire of the SN5 Starship prototype. It might happen today. It might not. If it does happen today, it will be a few hours from now. So that's the second exciting thing that might go down or go up
Cabin
today.
and suit cooling, and the heat shield is exposed and ready for atmospheric re-entry. Like I said before, that nitrox system, which is essentially the air that we breathe every day down here on Earth, nitrogen-oxygen combination, a mixture. It's the same stuff that they put in your scuba tank if you are a scuba diver. The nitrox system is used to cool the cabin and the suit to keep the crew comfortable during the re-entry phase. They will actually have cold air flowing through their suits themselves, as well as through the cabin itself. So a two-pronged approach to maintaining a comfortable temperature there inside the capsule. Like we said, the next event that we have coming up will be the deorbit burn, which we're expecting that to commence in 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Awesome. All right. So let me see if I can scroll up. See who's here. Alex is modding. Thanks, Alex. Justin DeLong's here. Thanks for modding, man. I think I saw Jonathan. Yep, Jonathan Kish is here. Michael's here. Welcome, guys. Payphone, Bone, Carrie Turner, my usual suspects. Nightbot's in the house, of course. Disabled Bart Copper's back. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Where's everyone from? Hey, Apatox, what's going on? I don't have Discord up for my patrons. Let me pull that up right quick. It's been a hectic day for me. Too much is happening. All right, now we bring this over. Disable. For patrons, we are on the Patreon discussion channel. And Shogun Baker. Oh, that's an old one. Never mind. You're not there. Okay. Bring up my stuff again. We have a new member. Welcome, new member, William Cap. You look familiar. I think William Cap used to be a patron. I think he switched over to YouTube, or maybe you just came back to YouTube. Welcome, William Cap. Let's see. Michael Short. Thank you for this super chat, Michael. Yeah, I get that hat on backwards. Although it's kind of annoying because I keep hitting the chair. All right, we should have a deorbit burn coming up.
Recovery ship Go Navigator is ready and waiting to begin the recovery process right after splashdown occurs. Once again, if you're just joining us, we are now in the final steps of the deorbit sequence. The deorbit burn will be starting here in just a couple of seconds.
And we just heard confirmation deorbit burn has begun.
Exciting.
Coming at 10:56 a.m. Pacific. Again, while the Dragon spacecraft just off the southwestern coast of Australia. So here we go. 11 more minutes to go.
I'm ready, and I'm sure it's safe to say that Bob and Doug are ready. They've done a number of interviews over the last few weeks while they were on station, and just the excitement and the enthusiasm for the mission is palpable. Just the opportunity to be able to fly these two incredible humans to the International Space Station and back is such an honor, and we're just really excited to get our space dads home.
It's really cool to see Elon and Gwen right there, front and center. That's awesome. I hope they keep this camera at least in the corner so we can keep an eye on their reaction. That'll be really exciting to watch. Yeah. So if everything checks out after Bob and Doug splash down, everything checks out with the capsule over the coming weeks as they analyze the data, they could reuse this first human-rated capsule on Crew 2, the second official mission of the Crew Dragon spacecraft, third overall. I guess fourth overall if you include Demo-2. Randy Bryson-Dine. I almost said Bridenstine. You confused me there for a second. Wow, thank you so much for the charity. I appreciate that generous contribution, man. So happy to have you, bro. Thank you so much. Andreas Gate is back. Hey, Kev. I know you don't munch on stream, but what would you wish you were munching on? Oh, that's a toughie. Okay, the lawyer wife just goes, pizza? We're going to have pizza for dinner. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm doing the whole intermittent fasting thing. I'm only eating between the hours of 4 and 8 p.m. I've been doing that for a few weeks. So I'm really looking forward to eating. I think I'm going to make homemade pizza here tonight. So that's kind of on my mind right now, not going to lie. Maybe also a moon pie. Guy, a moon pie. Then you get rid of this pinned message up at the top of the chat there. There we go. Thanks for the question, Andreas. Good to see you again, dude. Love the shades. All right, let's see where we're at now.
Draco thruster firings and trajectory details such as entry angle, capsule perigee, and how much distance is remaining until that deorbit burn terminates. So Dragon is flying itself, so all they really have to do is stay strapped in their seats and keep tabs on things.
They're so spoiled, Bob and Doug. They don't do anything. Yeah, how many of you guys watched their undocking yesterday from the space station? I tuned in for a little bit, and just as I was recording some B-roll for next week's episode, I happened to be right there on the part where the towel floated in front of the camera, and then right into, I think it was Bob's like view, so he just grabbed it out of his vision and put it in his pocket. It was pretty cool. Pretty fun to watch. No one cheats. No one cheats is on Discord from Patreon. Hey, he says, hey everybody, Kentucky's here, Jacksonville's here, Switzerland's here, Germany's here, Puerto Rico's here, Uruguay's here, Norway, Houston, Texas, Lithuania. Welcome everyone. The whole world is tuning in. This is exciting for everybody. And of course, America is here. Keep an eye on Elon. Elon's drinking out of his mug. It's not as cool as my mug because my mug is an eccentric mug. Kevin's cups make any drink drinkable. He's also munching on something. I guess Elon's tuning into the stream, guys. Elon's tuning in. He is tuning in from Hawthorne, California at SpaceX HQ, and he's drinking out of a non-eccentric mug, and he's munching on something he hasn't said yet. Guy's got to eat, bro. He's a busy man. He might be going to Boca Chica later today to get SN5 to hop. Wouldn't that be exciting? We shall see. New York is here. Spain's here. Arkansas's, plural. Arkansas is here. Ireland, Britain. Someone from Great Britain not calling it the UK. That's not normal. That's not normal. Dubai's here. I would love to go to Dubai sometime. Do some skydiving there, some parachute action.
Getting up to about 3,500 degrees on the Dragon spacecraft, but everything looking good. We're about 5.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're going to heat up. They're going to heat up the Dragon spacecraft on the way in through the atmospheric reentry and create some plasma action. 3,500 degrees is quite toasty, but the inside shouldn't go above 85 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not going to convert that to Celsius off the top of my head, so you guys can do that in the chat. You're welcome. They're probably going to be talking a lot, commentating a lot on this SpaceX live stream, so I won't try to interrupt them once we get closer to Splashdown. I'm going to try to be an observer as well, just like you guys. Until the meantime, we can just kick back, relax, and have a good time.
So right now, during this burn, we just heard a call out that we're halfway through the burn and everything is looking great, everything performing nominally. During this burn right now, Bob and Doug are currently monitoring the Deorbit tool, which, like I said earlier, captures things like the perigee, the reentry interface, how much time, or excuse me, how much distance remains before the burn itself is terminated. They're also monitoring the burn duration and the firing of those Draco thrusters located there at the on the forward bulkhead of the capsule.
There they are.
There on your
There's
screen,
our boys,
you actually
Bob
can
and
see
Dig.
what Bob and Doug are seeing right now. That is that tool on their screen. So on the left and the right of the center screen, that is the Deorbit. That is the Deorbit monitoring tool.
Elon is finicky. He keeps moving around. You think he's nervous a little bit? Understandable. Looks like he's got his little bandana around his neck. The Texan in Elon is coming out. He's been staying in Texas too long. Just kidding. You can never stay in Texas too long. I've been to Texas a couple times. I think 4 times now total. I love it. Texas is so much fun. Everyone there is so nice. Shout out to Texas and everyone watching from Texas. He's not using his bandana, though. He's using a real mask. Use the bandana, Elon.
Into the burn, a little over 4 minutes remaining. Everything's still looking good with Dragon Ship Endeavor's Deorbit burn to commit it to coming home. Everything continuing to be on track for our splashdown. Again, our splashdown time right at 11:48 and 24 seconds Pacific was the calculated time. It would be typical if we're a couple seconds on either side, but that time is 18:48 GMT or universal. But we're already through several of the really major steps to initiate this re-entry. The claw is separated, the trunk is gone, the deorbit burn has begun, and we're more than halfway through, just a little under 3.5 minutes remaining.
Exciting. Let's see if I can get the dogs in here so they can say hi to all you guys. Doggos. Doggos. Come here. Come here. Here they come. Doggo cam. Nope. Oh, and there they go. Now he's talking. What did you do, Kevin?
On your screen is a shot of our Mission Control Center here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, where the Dragon operators and mission leaders are there monitoring Dragon's progress. They continue to watch the propulsion data and all the GNC data, making sure that everything is looking healthy and nominal.
There they are. Are you guys excited? You should be. So we don't even know what's going on. When's dinner?
And we're just about 2 minutes, 30 seconds until the end of this burn. We'll listen for the call out up to the crew on the performance of the burn, and then they'll start moving into the next steps. Again, we'll get about a 3-minute breather before the next major milestone comes up when we get ready to close the nose cone, that protecting the docking ring, guidance, navigation, and control sensors, and also these 4 forward bulkhead thrusters that are currently performing the deorbit burn during the actual re-entry process. So
I forgot about the nose cone.
2 minutes.
Kind of important.
Conclusion of the deorbit burn.
little cap on the capsule, the nose cone. They open it when they get into the orbit so they can dock with the
Again,
space
Dragon
station.
is committed.
Obviously, you need to close it
its
too.
splashdown point. There is no going back.
Yeah, we already have the recovery team ready and on standby. They've been there for quite some time now. Here, and we have about 90 seconds left in the burn. Weather looking great at the splashdown site off Pensacola. Winds just around 2.5 miles per hour. Sea being described as like glass by the Corps here in Hawthorne, radioing up to the crew. Ended up getting fantastic weather.
Look
for
how
this first
nervous
crewed
Elon is. He
splashdown
won't stop finicking.
of Dragon. We are 1 minute away from the end of deorbit burn.
Maybe Elon will
Again,
feel a
this
lot
burn
better.
is placing Dragon on its final trajectory to the landing site off of the coast of Pensacola.
Maybe Elon will feel a lot better once this deorbit burn is done. But yeah, as she was saying, the announcer room narrator lady, they're landing off the coast in the Gulf of Pensacola. Apparently the weather is really great there. It's like 2-mile-an-hour winds or something. I don't know if they just said it, but that's what I read earlier. And the sea is like glass, so it's perfect. I think they moved it from the Atlantic because of the incoming hurricane, whatever its name is. All I know is its name isn't Kevin. Still waiting for Hurricane Kevin. I think there was a Hurricane Kevin a few years back, but it was stupid. It's just a dumb little insignificant hurricane. Story of my life.
We are coming up on 10 seconds from the end of the burn, so we'll stand by and wait for the call out to the crew on the burn performance.
Wait for it.
Dragon, SpaceX, deorbit burn complete, performance nominal, nose cone closure initiated.
See, now he looks a lot more relaxed, doesn't he? Maybe he's just texting. That was a long deorbit burn, man. Good for them. Yes. Mike Clark, splashdown is a lot more important than a hop, for sure. Let's get these guys home, yeah?
All right.
I'm sure they're ready to come home.
Deorbit burn complete. We heard the call, nominal burn. Bob and Doug are on their way back home. This burn commits them to re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Ooh, all we have left now is to wait. That was really one of the last major moments before they start re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. We'll have the nose cone closure coming up next. That should be coming in just a couple of minutes, as we had about a 3-minute span between the end of the deorbit burn and that moment.
Yeah, the nose cone is actually currently in the closing process, so it doesn't just snap shut. It does slowly close and lock. So right now, that nose cone is in the process of moving back into the closed position, and we will hear the call out for whenever it has fully closed and whenever the latches have secured.
Yeah, so the best part is yet to come. Parachutes. Yeah, that's what we're all here for, right? Or is it just me? Is it just me with my sweet shoot tee? Get yours now. Link in the description below. Actually, I don't think there is a link in the description below. Failure on my part. Just look at another live video or another eccentric video and you'll find the link to the store. All right. Gwen looks happy. That's great. So speaking of parachutes, I did do an eccentric parachute documentary like a couple months ago, when right before I think it was a few days before Bob and Doug left Earth to go to the space station, and so you can check that out. Just go to my YouTube channel homepage and just scroll a little bit till you find my parachute documentary video. Pretty neat, pretty interesting stuff. Parachutes are awesome and underappreciated. A lot of people watched that video and walked away fascinated, just like I am, by the amazing world of the chutes. I'm curious to know who these camera guys are working for. Is that Nat Geo? Are they gonna screw over other
as we just wait
YouTubers
for the
like they did
finish
last
to
time?
that nose cone closure. We'll have a bit of time again. We'll have about 20 minutes, or a little over 21 from right now, until we really start re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. We're expecting that entry interface in about 21 minutes. And then right around that time, we'll also be looking for that blackout we've been talking about. We've had a little bit of what we call radicom at this point, so you'll hear kind of some sporadic interruptions in the audio transmission just because of how Dragon was oriented for the trunk jettison and for the actual deorbit burn. But that blackout period will be due to the plasma that builds up around the capsule.
Some things never change from the Apollo days when you had that plasma blackout. Still exists. All right. One day maybe they'll have the technology where they can kind of bust through that plasma interference, but I don't know what that would take. Thank you. Let's get to these super chats really quick. And new members, I'm going to nail this name like I do all the time. Castimane. Nailed it. Thanks. Thumbs up, Peach Guy. Appreciate the support, brother. Or sister, whatever you may be. Cyborg Delta 1. What a sweet name. We know whose team you're on, Team AI. Thanks for becoming a new eccentric member. Welcome to the fam. William Smith. Very English name, Bill. I like it. Thanks for becoming an eccentric member, my man. For a second there, I thought the screen froze, but everyone's just really like, Elon's not moving. He's a statue.
Oxygen, it's what we breathe. And the nitrox that is being purged into the system is cooled, so allowing that cool air to circulate around the cabin, but also inside of Bob and Doug's suits will help to keep them cool and comfortable during re-entry, which will be coming up in about 20 minutes. We're currently tracking 23 minutes and 20 seconds until entry begins.
Yes, up front is Elon Musk right there. We'll get to see half of his reaction because he's wearing a mask, and beside him is Gwen Shotwell, SpaceX president.
So in case you're
very
just
cool that
joining
they're
us
on
at this
camera.
point, the nose cone has closed. The forward thrusters have been disabled, and we are latching the nose cone. Currently underway with the first set of hooks. The first of 2 sets.
The lawyer
We just
wife's
had
working in the
confirmation
laundry
that
room
the
next
first set
door.
of hooks is closed, so now the second
Excuse the profanity.
set will begin to close as well.
I just heard a big crash and then poop. What's up, boom? Oh, big guy with dreads is here. Loading. What's loading? Are you having loading issues on your end, big guy with dreads? I appreciate you supporting the channel even more, my man. Big guy with dreads, such a nice guy. Everyone's
As we
saying, thank you,
mentioned,
big guy
after
with
this
dreads.
nose cone's fully closed, we'll have a couple of minutes to catch our breath again, about 20 minutes or just under 20 minutes until Dragon will start to maneuver itself to the entry attitude, essentially pointing the heat shield in the direction of travel, as it's going to be leading the way through their re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere. We'll look to run into that communications blackout at about 36 minutes after the hour, expecting that to last for about 6 minutes, and then we'll get that back shortly before we deploy the drogue parachutes, followed just less than a minute later by the main parachutes, and by that point hopefully we should have some views of Dragon re-entering the Earth's atmosphere and parachuting to a splashdown in the Gulf.
I'm hoping they get some infrared shots of the capsule as it's re-entering before any drogue shoot action. That would be awesome. They managed to do that for Demo-2. So really cool. Foom parachutes. Yes. For those of you that are eccentric members on YouTube, there should be a parachute emoji. I always appreciate it when you guys use that. Let me see if I can do it really quick. I think I have access to it. Oh, here we go. I'm going to do it. This is my contribution. Shoots. Yes. Feels good. Man, I'm excited, guys. I'm not even nervous. I'm just excited. This is going to happen. It's going to be a good day. It's always a good day when you get to see some recovery system deployment action. It's so elegant. So nice looking. There we go. Oh, that's a lot of shoots. What are you guys trying to do? Kill me? Oh, that just feels too good. Thank you. And also adding an Elon happy face emoji also is great too. It's like icing on the cake.
Control here to Bob and Doug.
Here we go.
up in
I'll
Dragon
put my own
Endeavour,
little emoji sequence
that
in
Bob
here.
and Doug have also confirmed on their displays that the nose cone
There we
has
go.
closed nominally and it is secure for entry.
Thank you all for tuning in, watching.
So that nose cone
Appreciate it.
close completion.
Nose cone is closed.
This right now, coming with Dragon still flying over the South Pacific. It is on its way home. We're going to gradually start to see its altitude dip. Right now, already only 207 miles over the Earth's surface. It was at about 260 miles when it was still over on the other side of the Pacific Ocean off the southwestern coast of Australia when it fired its engines for that deorbit burn. So its altitude going to continue to drop. Once it gets to about 100 kilometers in altitude, or about 62 miles, it's going to begin what's known as entry interface. And that's when it really begins to start to feel the effects of the Earth's atmosphere. Will once again be experiencing lift and drag as it's no longer in that near vacuum environment in low Earth orbit.
So during the Apollo days, the capsule was so big, and it was coming in so hot, coming in so fast from the moon. They actually had to dip in and out of the Earth's atmosphere to burn some energy off and come back in. And they do that by rolling the capsule using those RCS thrusters. This capsule's not coming in quite that fast, so it's not as much of a show, I guess. But still a good show. Someone was asking who these camera guys are. I have no idea. If I were to guess, I would say it's National Geographic, Nat Geo. They did the same kind of thing for Falcon Heavy, but I can't be certain who they are. During the Demo-2 launch, there was a big conspiracy because Nat Geo tried to demonetize every other YouTuber on that was covering the SpaceX launch, and so it made a lot of people mad when because we were all just using NASA and SpaceX's footage, but Nat Geo tried to claim it as their own. Jerks. But no, I don't know who these guys are. No idea. Heiner Wolf, like that name. Give me a half. I would love to see all the people who are here chatting and moving around as avatars with, what do you think? Avatars with Weblin? I don't know what that is. I'm not very knowledgeable about all that fancy tech stuff. I never heard of that, but I don't know. Check it out later, I guess. Weblin.io. Nice plug. Not sure what that is, but cool, man. Avatars are fun, I guess.
All of that in mind, you add the ever-evolving weather conditions of Florida, but also that tropical storm Isaiah that was moving through. And it's easy to see how determining that landing site is a...
So, Teenage Astronaut, yeah, Nightbot is too sensitive. Is Nightbot kind of acting up tonight? I don't know how to tone it down. I'll have to take a look at that too. Again, I reiterate, I'm not very techie with the social media stuff. Why am I a YouTuber? I'm just here for the ride. No, technically I'm here to watch someone else go for the ride. I wish I was going on the ride. I would totes my goats go to space if someone were to offer to pay for my ticks. Mike Clark, keep up the good work. Kev the Cloud Licker, someone from the Cloud Licking days before the 50,000 subs, I think is when I changed over to Space Eccentric. I don't know if anyone here watching knows what my previous YouTube channel was called before I even started this one. I've been doing YouTube on and off since 2007, and I had one going. It was a gaming kind of channel before this one. That was like 2014, I think, for like a year or two, and then I started this one. But you won't find it anymore because I deleted it. But I appreciate my longtime subscribers for sticking around. I'm glad I haven't annoyed you out the door yet. It happens. Not gonna lie. The lawyer wife goes, "Yep." This is actually, she's a lot closer to me right now than she usually is, even though she's still a room away. Yup. No Gwen emoji. I might have to add one. I have to take a look and see if I can add another emoji. I can add new emojis once I get more members on YouTube. So the more members we get, the more emojis I can add. So maybe in the future I'll have a Gwen emoji. I'm always taking recommendations.
right around that same time. We are under 27 minutes away from Splashdown. So we are under 27 minutes away.
Getting there.
Bob and Doug being on planet Earth for the first time since May 30th.
To kind of put everything in perspective, you know, the Dragon capsule departed from the International Space Station several hours ago, but according to what Dan just said, it's essentially halfway home just based on altitude alone. So the International Space Station is about 250 miles above Earth's surface. I think right now it's between 250 and 300. I think right now it's about 263 miles above Earth's surface. So based on that telemetry that Dan just read off, is from an altitude standpoint, Dragon is halfway home, and yet that second half is going to be covered in the next 27-ish minutes while we wait for splashdown and recovery, versus the several hours that we've been covering since yesterday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and we
Hit that
will
like
continue to see its speed drop.
I always forget to hit that like button, but you need to. I already got my like button on Lab Padre stream. It looks like they got the SpaceX stream going along with their live stream of SN5. It may hop today. It may not. We'll see. I know Elon's going to want to get back to Boca Chica if it's going to hop. And obviously he's not. He's right here. But the good news is he's rich enough to have a private jet. So he could get there in, just an hour or so if he really wanted to. So who knows? We could have an SN5 150 meter hop by the end of the day as well. But I'm still kind of expecting they might hold off until tomorrow. I don't know. The primary date is for today for the road closing. So we'll see. We'll see. Matt, oh, nope, I can't get to you yet. Matt Miller, Disabled Park Hopper, have you ever thought about using Twitch for your live streams? And if you have thought about Twitch, what are the reasons you don't? I do have a Twitch account, believe it or not. I do have one. I haven't used it in a while. And I think it's because Twitch is just, I look at it as like a young man's game. And I'm not that young anymore. If I was like in my teeny bopper days and I knew how to work this upcoming technology so well, I'd probably do it. And I'm sure I could still learn it. I kind of have. But there's just so much to it. People can drop little emojis on your screen and give you money. And I just don't know how all that works. I can play video games on it. I could use it as like a backup for live streams if YouTube ever goes down or decides, hey, Kevin, you can't live stream more because you suck. And then fine, I'll use Twitch. But I really have not much of a reason to use it. YouTube is my home platform for this channel, and I'm just going to keep rolling with it as long as it works. But I appreciate that there are other options. Get what I'm saying? Everyone in the chat who's like my age or older is like, yep, I can understand what you're saying. Technology gets harder as you get older. All you young kids watching, it might be easy for you now, but just wait. One day you'll get to this point where you just can't keep up with it. It's hard.
Gulf of Mexico and much warmer temperatures than they've seen for the last couple of months. And we'll still be able to talk to them from here in Hawthorne, and the recovery teams will be able to as well.
Yeah.
Matt Miller, Matt Miller gave me the finger. How dare you, good sir? Welcome back, Matt. Good to see you again, man. Thanks for tuning in once again. Usual suspects are in the house, and I love it. Matt Miller meant that SpaceX and this channel are number one. We're tied for number one. Not really. Not really, but we can pretend, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a little delusional. Payphone Bones, somebody taped the edge of that desk. It's driving me crazy. Oh, this right here. Oh, thanks for pointing it out, man. That's very rude of you. Now I'm going to be looking at it the whole time. This is a high-tech rocket company, and they have these little, IKEA desks or something. This is how Kevin would put together furniture. All right, they could do better. Come on, they're engineers. Get some duct tape on that thing like real engineers would.
Completed the deorbit burn. Dragon is continuing to drop down. It's right now at about 132 miles over the Pacific Ocean. Pretty soon we're going to see its ground track cross over Central America, out over the Gulf, culminating in that splashdown in the Gulf just off the coast of Pensacola.
Dragon SpaceX for entry brief.
Go ahead.
Okay, Doug, we have no update to timing because the burn went great, and your vehicle is still looking really good for entry. No health issues at this time.
Fantastic. Flippin' fantastic. Elon's right there for those of you asking.
Copy, thank you.
Gwen's right there texting.
In addition, the recovery team is go, and the weather is still great. Winds are about 2 knots and waves about 1 foot. From the ship, they're reporting
Wow.
very calm. How copy?
That's the Gulf for you, man. Waters are crystal blue, probably.
Copy, good weather at the landing area. Thank you.
I don't think they're that close to the coast.
Okay, and last piece is that we do expect some additional Radicom during entry prep 2 due to vehicle attitude. So if you can get us your entry check report a little bit prior to entry prep 2, we'd appreciate it.
Say, okay. This is how busy Gwen Shotwell's schedule is. She has to text while working and waiting for Bob and Doug to start getting a little toasty up there in the atmosphere. I hope they brought their cutoff tees and they're not wearing their sweatshirts. Just kidding. We all know they're wearing those sweet IVA space suits. Gosh, that guy's wearing flip-flops. That's how I would roll, man. I like him. We could be friends. Jason Cobb, would you go up in a flight if offered? Absolutely, man. I would go. It wouldn't even have to be SpaceX, to be honest. I prefer to be SpaceX, but I would go up in Blue Origin. I'd go up in Virgin Galactic. I don't give a monkey. I'd go. Heck yeah, man. Who else would there be? I guess ULA would be another way to go on the Boeing Starliner. I wouldn't quite go on Starship yet. I'm going to wait till they get the kinks out of that one first. I'm not suicidal.
They certainly want to be aware when things like parachute deploy will be happening and when splashdown is expected. So making sure that the timeline of events, the sequencing is accurate is certainly important in order for them to stay aware and updated of upcoming events.
Just another quick position check. Dragon still out over the Central Pacific, down to about 108 miles in altitude. We're expecting that entry interface to come up in the next 4 minutes or so. Again, at that point, Dragon should be at an altitude of right around 62 statute miles, or about 100 kilometers. And that's when it really starts to feel the effects of the atmosphere. It starts to experience the lift and drag and other atmospheric effects it's been free from while flying in the near vacuum of low Earth orbit. So continuing to drop in altitude, still looking for an on-time splashdown. Should just be about 19 minutes from now.
19 minutes, guys. So I saw some of you are interested in becoming pilots for SpaceX in the future. Pilot is becoming such a obsolete word, I feel. I mean, unfortunately. Not really, but in a way. So I caught myself because I was going to say, well, if you want to be, an astronaut pilot or whatever, you should probably become a test pilot in the military. That's the old school way of doing it. That's the normal way of doing it. But, Bob and Doug, they don't have to be. They are pilots, but they don't have to be. They still would be able to fly that thing. It's all automated these days. So who knows what the future is going to hold. I mean, I'm sure they're always going to want a pilot around the controls, but you don't have to be a pilot anymore to fly spacecraft. It's a crazy world we're living in. All right, but if you're going to be a pilot, go Navy. Right? I'm a little biased, but go Navy. I actually, after I got injured and honorably discharged from the Navy, I tried to get back in as an officer, as a naval pilot, and I passed all the tests. I did the joystick throttle thing, and they said I did great on all the tests, but then the higher command wouldn't let me back in because I was still disabled. So it's like, dang it. Almost got back in. Yes, that's another good point. You have to be a U.S. citizen to work for SpaceX as well, because it's
in that last briefing we also
secret
heard
information,
that the
the kind of
is
stuff they do.
Good. In
Secret
a previous
technology.
report, the phrasing was, "It looks like glass," and that is certainly ideal for a water splashdown. That being said, the recovery timeline, Bob and Doug should be out of the capsule within an hour after splashing down. So good to hear that the weather is good. We saw blue skies and a couple of white fluffy clouds out there in the Gulf of Mexico as we got views from our recovery vessel Go Navigator. But glad to hear that conditions are sustaining and that winds also are looking really good.
That's great. It's going to happen. Well, it's got to happen. They're on their way down no matter what. Gravity's in control. Carrie Turner, are you going to get Flight Simulator 2020 and do a collab with Air Force Proud 95? I don't know who that is, but it's funny you mentioned that because I spent a good part of my day yesterday kind of researching that game. I knew it was there, and I haven't done much research on it lately, but just kind of get myself reacquainted with how it was doing. I was like, oh crap, it's coming out in a couple weeks, so I pre-ordered it. So those of you that are members, I will be doing some Flight Simulator gaming, and those of you that like to watch me dock things in Kerbal Space Program and know how sloppy my pilot skills can be, it should be kind of fun. I know Gucci Pilot, who I don't think is tuning in right now, but Gucci Pilot will have a great time watching. I'm sure about that. The first thing I'm going to do is what everybody else is going to do. I'm going to grab an airliner, fly it into my house. Yeah, I think that's what everyone's going to do. So that's what I'm doing. Tuba Man's here. Hey, what's up, Tuba Man? Thanks for tuning in there on Discord. Lovely to have you. So for those of you that aren't aware, Microsoft creates this game that's been around for a while called Flight Simulator. The first time I ever played it was in 98 when Flight Simulator 98 came out. Pretty long time, but I loved it. Joysticking it in the 90s. That's how we roll where I'm from. But the new one, Flight Simulator 2020, is coming out here on August 18th, and it's crazy. Like, it's just a crazy game all around. Not only are the graphics insane, but the most impressive thing about it is the entire world in the game is modeled off the entire world. It's the Earth. So you can fly anywhere that you could normally fly to on Earth. Landmarks, same kind of thing. A lot of the airports are hand modeled, but the world in general is computer generated. Like, I don't know what kind of software that they built to do this, but they just said, go model the Earth software, and the software modeled the Earth so you can fly to basically any place you could find on the Earth. It's quite nuts, and I'm really looking forward to doing it. One of my older brother's favorite hobby to do is to, when he's watching a movie, he's like, oh, that's a really cool set. I want to know where they built that, like, say, Lord of the Rings. He goes onto Google Earth and finds like the huts of where they built those huts, Hobbit huts in Lord of the Rings, like in New Zealand, and they'll find that. He loves doing that. Or like the Goonies, like in the Northwest or whatever. He loves finding that stuff on Google Earth. I'm like, Brad, once you get this game, you and I can fly around and find all this stuff in the game now. It's going to be sweet. Foom became an eccentric member. Now he gets to watch Flight Sim 2020 stuff in a couple weeks with the rest of us. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Everyone's looking at the screen intently. Let's see what's going on.
Dragon copies 1842. We'll talk to you then.
They're tuning out for the plasma burn.
So there's that heads up communication from Mission Control to Dragon Endeavour, confirming that comms blackout. Like I was saying, during the blackout, the Dragon capsule will be going through entry interface, where it is encountering aerodynamic forces, really starting to build up the external temperature and that external temperature will reach about 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. However, the interior of the cabin is environmentally cooled, so Bob and Doug should remain comfortable during their descent. There will be cool air flowing not only through the cabin itself, but also through their suits.
Their suits are hooked up to their seats.
The suits have sensors on them that are able to detect the temperature inside that suit, and once that sensor reads that it has reached the maximum temperature threshold, it'll flush the suit with some cool air and really circulate and cool it down.
I feel like I could use those suits just for that reason. Like when the lawyer wife and I drive around.
That estimated blackout.
When the lawyer and I drive around, like sometimes she'll say it's too cold, and I'll say no, it's too hot. So if we had our own SpaceX suits and we could just hook them up to the AC, problem solved. I'm sure it only cost us like a couple $100,000 to do, but worth it.
And this is when the capsule is really heating up during that reentry, reaching temperatures of around 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, as again you're essentially hitting the atmosphere more than 17,000 miles an hour. and the friction building up that plasma around the spacecraft. And that's what's going to prevent us from talking to Bob and Doug or getting data back from the spacecraft for the next 6 minutes. Its flight computers are in control, though. It's going to continue to maintain its appropriate trajectory and attitude, having attitude determination devices on board the capsule, not reliant on communications with satellites. And it's going to continue dragging down the correct path for this splashdown off the coast of Pensacola. So we are in that blackout period. We're going to continue to stand by until we get them on the other side.
So they said they're coming in at 17,000 miles an hour, which is super fast. The world record is Apollo 10, fastest humans ever. They came in, I think it's at 20, let me look it up really quick. I was halfway there when I started talking. I think it was 24,000 some miles an hour, which is the record. That's crazy. That's super fast. Yeah, 24,791 miles per hour.
All right, and just about 2 minutes after we get acquisition of signal, AOS, back with Dragon, we're going to be looking for those parachutes, and we should hopefully be getting some views from a couple of our assets.
That's also 40,000 kilometers an hour for those of you that want to know that.
High altitude research plane, which is going to be relying on Dragon's telemetry to actually lock onto it in the sky and give us an infrared view of the capsule during the final stages of reentry. We're going to be looking for the drogue deploys at about 44 minutes after the hour. Those will be 2 drogue shoots that are going to come out when the vehicle is still moving at about 350 miles an hour. And it'll be at an altitude of about 18,000 feet. They'll come out and do some initial slowing and stabilization of the spacecraft, and then less than a minute later, they'll detach, and the 4 main parachutes will deploy. You'll see them come out and look kind of closed up initially, and then they'll do what's known as reefing, opening up in really 2 different stages just to minimize the immediate loads on the parachutes themselves. Those main parachutes will come out at an altitude of about 65.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this parachute sequence deployment. So it's really cool. He's talking about reefing and stuff, so I'll kind of explain that. So first we'll have the drogues come out, 2 drogues. I don't remember the exact diameters, but they're smaller. They're not that big. I say smaller, and if you were to stand next to one, you'd be like, holy cow, that's a huge parachute. But in relative size to the main chutes, they're pretty small. That just stabilizes the capsule, slows it down a little bit. And then they'll cut those and deploy the 4 mains. Now, they don't need 4. They have a 4th for backup. That's why Boeing CRS Starliner, or the Boeing Starliner capsule has 3. Blue Origin's capsule has 3, but SpaceX goes for 4 for extra redundancy. They could probably get away with just 2 parachutes to land this thing, but they want to get it under 20 miles per hour when it splashes down in the water. So it's a super safe parachute system they got going there, and they upgraded it from Mark II to Mark III last year, so it's even safer now by at least a factor of 10 of what it was, and it was already safe to begin with. So everything should be hunky-dory, as someone old and apparently my age would say.
Halfway through there now. At the moment, Dragon is re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, and due to the plasma building up on the exterior of the vehicle, we're unable to...
Oh, yeah, I didn't talk about reefing. I should probably mention that. So when you see parachutes deploy and they're kind of like bundled together a little bit and they slowly start to open up and then all of a sudden they just expand, that's called reefing. And they have these reefing lines around the lower edge of the chute, and there's several of them, and these reefing line cutters are attached. Now, they used to be, back in the Apollo days, fired using basically like a explosive powder that would shoot a blade into the lines, cut the lines, and allow the parachutes to open. Now they use electronic reefing line cutters that have like barometer sensors on them, so at a certain altitude they know when to cut those lines. It's pretty sophisticated, and it's very beautiful to watch. So they're in plasma blackout right meow. Should be coming out of it here in a little bit. I hope we get to see some streakage. I want to see some infrared.
Still inside that anticipated blackout window. It does look like we are getting maybe some sporadic data starting to peek through. This is why you heard that communications check with the spacecraft.
Mike Clark followed me on Twitter. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm not on Twitter a whole lot these days.
Com check.
Twitter can be kind of toxic, but I do tune in there to get...
Loud and clear. We're about 3.9 Gs.
I do tune in there to get my SpaceX news sometimes.
Copy. We've got you 5x5 as well, Doug. Looking good, and you can expect an automated chute deployment.
Oh, here we go. Parachute time. Come on, guys. Get some video. Pretty please. Pretty please.
All right, really good news there. We have come out of the blackout period and we have reestablished connection with Dragon Endeavour with NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley on board.
They're free falling right now. I'm so gel. They made it through the plasma blackout. They're waiting for drogue chute deployment.
We were
Come
able
on,
to
baby.
reacquire that communication a little bit earlier than expected. And now we are just waiting. We should just be about 2.5 minutes away from that initial drogue chute deploy.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 26 seconds.
AGPS has converged.
You know Bob and Doug. They have to be ready to
You
come
may
home,
have heard
man.
earlier that Bob and Doug are currently experiencing 3.5 Gs. Not too bad. That's about what they pulled during the ascent phase. Just like a mild roller coaster.
I've never blacked out on a roller coaster before. I came close. Millennium
The
Falcon,
vehicle is now over the Gulf of
Cedar
Mexico.
Point. Almost.
It is
I was
approaching
malnourished.
the landing zone off the coast of Florida near Pensacola. And there
There
we
we
have
go.
our first shot.
Yes.
There it is. This
There it
the
was.
first view from the WB-57 airplane. It is dipping in and out a little bit. This is going to be an infrared camera showing us Dragon re-entering. We have that comm back with Bob and Doug. You heard AGPS is converging. Dragon has 3 GPS units that it uses actually in the parachute deployment process as it helps, along with the pressure sensors, really give a solid altitude to the flight computers on when these are supposed to deploy. We're standing by for the drogue chute deployments. We should be just under 5 minutes away from splashdown.
Passing 15 kilometers. Brace for
There it
drogue
is.
window.
A little pixelated, but I can see it. Boom, PLF, SpaceX style.
Just about 14 kilometers in altitude, 8.4 miles, continuing to descend.
There on your screen, we have a shot of the capsule as it is preparing to deploy those initial parachutes, the drogue parachutes.
I'm assuming you mean parachute landing
Again,
fall
these
there, Foom.
parachutes help slow the vehicle down
You're such a nice
even
guy,
further
Foom. I like you. You're
and
fun.
help stabilize in preparation for main chute deployment.
I'm so glad we get to see this on camera live. It's so awesome. I wish
Right
I was
about
in
now,
that capsule
the
right
capsule
now.
is going about 400 miles per hour.
Quite
Decelerating
fast.
quickly.
When the mains deploy, they want it around 120 miles per hour, if I
Standing
remember
by
right.
for drogue deploys.
Visual. 2 drogues.
There they are.
There on your screen, we have visual confirmation of those 2 drogue deployments.
Copy 2 drogue.
All right, so 2 of 2, the drogues now out. They're going to do their slowing and stabilizing of the Dragon spacecraft. They should be detaching in just a few moments, and then we'll see 4 parachutes, the main parachutes deployed. Dragon under drogues.
I liked parachutes
Drogue
before they were
descent rate
popular.
nominal.
Everyone likes them right now, especially Bob and Doug. Oh my gosh, that would
The
be so sweet to be in that
descent rate, the
capsule.
expected velocity under the drogues nominal. We're right at around 150 miles an hour and already dropping.
There you go.
You can see the drogues now
There's
detached.
the mains. All 4 of
There
them.
we have confirmation of deployment of the 4 main parachutes.
There they are. See, they're reefed. One of them
We are
struggling a
visual
little
on
bit.
4
There we
chutes
go.
out.
There we
are
go.
Visual. 4 main parachutes
Copy
deployed.
4 main.
Perfect. Perfect. Look at that. Oh man, I want one of those chutes. I would love to have one. I don't know what I would do with it. I'd cover my
So
house
at this
or something.
point, the main parachutes have deployed. They are inflating, as you can see there on your screen, continuing to slow Dragon down significantly. We are anticipating splashdown in just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
So yeah, they
We've
should have
already
reefed
slowed
those
the
at about
vehicle down to
6,000
about
feet.
16 miles an hour. It's already less than a kilometer in altitude.
Main chute descent rate nominal, passing through 700 meters.
So yeah, they want to keep that descent rate under 20 miles an hour. They said they're at about 16. I was actually kind of surprised
So
to
at
hear
this
that
point, Dragon has saved all propulsion
they deploy those chutes at 6,000 feet. That's pretty low for such a heavy capsule. But I mean, for a normal skydiver, we would deploy ours around 3 to 5. Tandem skydivers would usually be about 5,000 feet. So pretty interesting. I guess they're really confident with those 4 Mark III parachutes, eh?
Mission control team here in Hawthorne has reported the precise landing coordinates to the recovery team.
There's also no backup chutes, so I guess that also plays a factor. There's no reason to deploy it too high, I guess. Yeah, KSP. I know I'm not the only one in KSP who deploys parachutes at like 3 feet off the ground. Sometimes too late. It's like, I don't want to have to time warp for an hour. Just get me there.
Past about 300 meters. 1 minute till splashdown.
200 meters. We are braced for splashdown.
Copy, brace for splashdown.
They do have a little bit of bigger parachutes
So
than
there
me
we
there,
heard Bob
Alex.
and Doug
Thanks
reporting that they
thanks
are
for
bracing
rubbing that in for me.
splashdown.
Size does matter when it comes to parachutes. Keep that in mind. Write that down, kids.
We should
Size
be able
matters.
to see the Gulf of Mexico here in the shot just momentarily, as we're now just about 20 meters off the ocean.
Watch out, whales. Watch out, dolphins. They're coming in. Splash.
Splashdown.
As you can see on
I
your
heard a splash
screen,
next
we
door.
have
Harry
visual
dropped something.
confirmation for splashdown.
You all right? Okay.
Come on.
SpaceX copies and concurs. We see splashdown and mains cut.
That's sweet, dude.
Dragon Endeavour has returned home. NASA astronauts Bob and
Endeavour,
Doug.
on behalf of the SpaceX and NASA teams, welcome back to planet Earth, and thanks for flying SpaceX.
Welcome back, Bob and Doug. Hope you enjoyed that parachute ride. I know I did. I wasn't even on it.
It was truly our honor and privilege to fly in flight of the Crew Dragon and Endeavour. Congratulations. everybody.
Also important that it's floating. That's cool, man. Look at it bobbing there.
And we're into section of 4.800.
Thanks for those words, Doug, and we copy that you are into 4.800.
So great news all around there. Our space dads are back on Earth after a 19-hour return journey from space. Dragon Endeavour has splashed down in the Gulf of Mexico, just off the coast of Pensacola, Florida. And on your screen there, you can see our two fast.
I bet they smell lovely right now. So, man, you know, now comes the challenging part for Bob and Doug. They got to learn how to walk again, right? Instead of floating like a bunch of Johnny Cut Corners.
Endeavour in 3.1, we show ourselves in stable 1.
And SpaceX copies for vehicle assessment, step 3.1, stable 1. Good news.
Stable 1, essentially, they're upright in the water. Stable 2, also another potential where it could be on its side or even upside down, but Dragon does have a water ballast system to keep it upright where it's able to.
It's a bobber. It's meant to bob like that. And I guess you could use the parachute lines as fishing lines. There you go. Bob and Doug are bait. Shark bait. Looks like a toasty marshmallow, doesn't it? Don't it? They're going to use that toasty marshmallow again, okay? Let's shoot for Crew 2, shall we? Oh, my mother-in-law is watching. Hello, mother-in-law. Oh, she's not watching me. She's just watching SpaceX's live stream. I'm doing the same thing. I can't complain. The whole world is watching. At least they should be. If they're not, then you know what? Screw them. We're having fun without them. I'm not crying. You're crying. My tears are on the inside.
They'll be performing what's known as a sniffer test. That's essentially to ensure that the air around the vehicle doesn't have any toxic fumes from the hypergolic propellants on board. So once we get the all clear from there.
Yeah, so hypergolic propellants are quite nasty. Basically what they are is they're just fuels that when you mix them together, they're liquids. When you mix them together, they go kaboom, and they light the Super Draco engine. So yeah, it's still kind of a a dangerous situation, but all the hard parts out of the way. All right. So we're going to wrap up the stream there. But yeah, you guys, keep an eye out at Lab Padre's YouTube channel. Okay, so you just head on over to Lab Padre. I didn't have time to put a link in the description, so I apologize. Maybe one of my mods can put a link in the chat. But head over to Lab Padre stream and keep an eye out for the potential 150-meter hop. We'll see if Elon goes to Boca Chica after, I don't know if they're doing a press conference or what. Maybe he'll head down that way. And maybe we'll get to see a 150-meter hop today. Maybe it will be tomorrow. Let me check really quick and make sure the road closing is still up for today. Closure scheduled. Yeah, so the road closure is still scheduled for today, so we should expect that it's going to happen. If not, tomorrow. Okay. Justin, next comes recovery ship to crane it up on deck. Yes. Get Bob and Doug out of there, and they'll either chopper them to the shore, the seashore, or they'll just take them via boat. Thank you, Disabled Park Hopper. Have a great day. Carrie, I know, Carrie, we didn't get to see Elon's face. We didn't get to see him do his Elon fist pumps. That's what Elon does when he gets really excited. Super excited. Thank you, Christopher, for sharing the link. Thank you, Alex, for also sharing the link. Carrie, say hi to my new baby, Kev, adopted from my fosters. Oh, hello, new adopted baby. Welcome. Kunu's adopted as well. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Hope you guys have a happy life together. Are we talking real baby or like dog baby? For those of you tuning out, thank you for tuning in. Have a great, wonderful day. Maybe I'll see you later. If SpaceX does do the hop, we'll see if they do the live stream like they did for Star Hopper. If they do, I will stream that. If they don't, I might be hopping on Lab Padre stream, or maybe I'll do my own stream. I don't know. I haven't really thought that much ahead yet. I'm personally kind of expecting them not to hop it today, but they probably will since I'm expecting it to be that way. Dog baby. Okay. Name Maggie. Oh, that's cute. Cute girl. What kind of dog is it, Carrie? I need to know this. I need to know these things. Lab's channel just went down. Their camera just went down. Justin, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, man. Bye, Teenage Astronaut. Hope you had a good time. Mix. Okay. Yeah, it's adopted, so that's expected. Mixes are healthy breeds. I guess that's a breed. Mixes are healthy mixed breeds. They tend to be more healthy than purebreds, believe it or not. Cute little red with floppy ears. Oh, I was talking to lawyer wife. I think it was today or yesterday about we should get a new puppy. I wasn't really being serious though, because they're a lot of work, especially German Shepherd puppies. Take care, William Cap. Mike Clark has cats, no dogs. Well, you need to start thinking about having a dog meow. Okay, you need to mix it up. You guys have a wonderful day. Again, maybe I'll see you guys here in a little bit for a 150-meter hop. We will see. If not, have a wonderful day. Don't do anything I would do. Don't have a wonderful day. Have a nerminal day. All right, nerminal day. Until I see you again, you guys. Godspeed.